Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Hitstreak. I am your man, Nick Hyder. And folks, I've got an extra special treat for you. Joining me in the Hit Lab today, folks. We live in a world where technology is developing faster than ever before. And, at the end of the day, you can either embrace it or not. I'm a big believer in embracing change because that's where growth happens, right? So check this out, folks. This dude right here is an entrepreneur and an AI specialist, all right? You've seen him on some of the largest platforms on earth, like the Andy Elliott Podcast, amongst many others. Folks, he is the CEO and founder of Elite Team AI, Hudson Wikoff. How we doing, baby?
Nick, so excited to be here. I was going to send the real Hudson here, but I thought it'd be a better idea to send an AI replica of me, right? I'm just kidding, man. It's me. It's really me.
Oh man, dude, it's I've seen your stuff, and if those that are just watching with us today, if I didn't see the human person sitting over there, I'd believe it.
Yeah, dude, there is things have gotten really wild here in the past 24, 12, even 6 months, and how fast things are rapidly changing with deep fakes, and how can we actually tell the difference between what's real and what's not real? All
right, so folks, check it out. First of all, everybody listening today, a lot of you may think, oh man, this is over my head and subject, I'll catch this one later. You need to stay with this right here because check it out. We're speaking on your level. You're going to find that out, right? So anytime I've found that we're talking about futuristic type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like brand new technology, there's what's I think 8% of people are early adopters. 8% of the people will wait in line at the Apple Store for the new iPhone. Everybody else is going to wait and see how it works first before they dive in. Give yourself the 50 to 60 minutes we're talking today. You will be blessed. I guarantee you that, right? So, all right, man. Hudson, let's talk about just right out of the gates. Just like you said, AI technology has developed. It's rapidly developing. I mean, faster than we can truly keep up with as consumers, right? So there's a lot of fear when it comes to new technology and whatnot. And we've heard that the biggest threat to the human race is a computer and so on and so forth. But what's exciting about the technology, especially with AI right now? What's the most exciting thing to you?
Oh man, great question. So a couple things that I predicted at the beginning of this year, I still think that they're going to happen. One is that robots will be in your houses, cooking, cleaning, picking up after the kids. I would love to get my wife a little bit more time back. Folding your laundry, doing house chores for you. Between the price range of 10 to 20K, you can buy a robot in your house to do that stuff for you. That was number one. Number two is going to be the year of video. And so the year of video, imagine Netflix. You're sitting back on your couch and you say, hey, I really love this actor. I really love this type of video. However, I want to change it. I want this style. I want this type of outcome. And within 5 minutes, you have a 90-minute production that no one else on planet Earth has seen because it created it right there for you.
AI, I think if you ask the average person about it, they'd say, yeah, man, it's new technology, but it's really not. Okay, so let's start there. This isn't new. First of all, Siri's been around forever. Okay, we were using GPS stuff. You had to suction cup to your dashboard back when I was a teenager. And just like you said, there's recommended stuff on everybody's Netflix and Hulu and all those streaming services. It's recommending stuff. Well, who is it that's recommending that stuff? Is that a human being? I don't think so, right?
It's them. It's they. It's AI. Yeah. I mean, we're really kind of going into the third phase of AI. When we look at the phases, we can really kind of go back to the beginning of computers in the 50s, 60s. When computers first started coming out, that's still kind of a breed of AI technology, looking at learning modules, right? And it's constantly learning as we're feeding it information. And then we went into phase two, and phase two is really where the larger companies really started to take off. And we think about like the Amazons, we think about like the Googles, we think about Netflix, right? These companies that have large amounts of money to be able to, one, have the database, the consumer base that are feeding them data that they could use this essentially free or paid for data to now input into their platform, into their company, and leverage AI. So you're exactly right. What do I want to buy today? Oh, Amazon's going to tell you what you want to buy today. What do you want to watch today? Well, Netflix already knows. It's going to tell you exactly what you want to watch. And so they've been leveraging AI for the past decade plus. Now we're in an era, this is what I call the fourth industrial revolution, right? We can go into industrial revolutions later if we want to, but we're entering into the fourth. And with this one, we're looking at AI, we're looking at robotics, we're looking at quantum computing. And with the release of ChatGPT 4 or 3.5 in November of 2022, gave the quote unquote small business owner, the everyday consumer, access to what the big companies have.
Right.
So now the little dogs can play with the big dogs.
So, folks, if you have been living under a rock, AI is artificial intelligence. Okay, and like again, we're all consumers. Okay, and when you go on your Amazon account or anything like that, you're using, but literally like artificial intelligence, the dictionary, Webster, my buddy Webster, he says it's the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence,
Boom.
Such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation between languages. All right, so. But it's been around for decades.
Yes.
Right? It's been around for decades, and we've been using it and trusting it for decades. But it's being presented in a much bold manner now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like a lot of people will have robots here very soon. And if you don't have an AI replica of yourself, very soon it will be like having an email. It'll be like having a website. But robots, the Roomba was released in 2002. A lot of people already have a robot in their house.
That's right. That's exactly right. All right, man. So this is such a diverse and like large subject. Like there's so many directions that we could take this. Okay. So first of all, let's this dude is extremely credible. That's why I brought him here, right? You guys should know that about me by now. Okay. So if he wasn't a winner in the space, he wouldn't be sitting here. Okay. So, but let's take them back. Just let's give them a 30,000-foot view about basically what we had a little pre-meeting before the podcast today, and did a beautiful job in literally like 90 seconds to my partner Antoine. Give them the 30,000-foot view of how you kind of got here.
Yeah. So went to undergrad school in a small Division III NCAA, wanted to play football, went and did that, tore my ACL 2 times, ACL, MCL, PCL. Basically, I have a bionic knee, so I'm already got AI. I mean, back in 2009, had the fortunate opportunity to be brought on as a student athlete coach, stuck around there for a couple years, had the chance to go over coach in Europe, came back home. That's what really kind of got me into the health and fitness space, which I spent a lot of my career there. And came back home, started coaching out of my mom's basement. Before I knew it, I had 20 people working out in my garage. And this was kind of like my first experience in entrepreneurship. I didn't know how to build a business, run a business. So I was charging like $20 a month to work out. You can't pay your bills that way. Got on with a Fortune 500, 100 company called DuPont and worked for them for 5 years. Just came in at a very ground level, tank farmers, swing shifts, 2 days on, 3 nights on, back and forth between that. Rough. Worked my way up very quickly, rubbed elbows with the right people. I was one of several hundred nationwide, worldwide safety professionals within there. This all happened within probably a couple years time frame anyway.
Wow.
That they chose me to ship off to Hawaii. And so I was like, heck yeah, I'm all in. Let's go. So I went to Hawaii. I was kind of in a crossroads of becoming the East Coast regional Sheck manager for 13 locations. Or while I was in Hawaii, I also had a call from a couple gym owners say, hey, you want to come over here and take over this gym? We just had someone hand over the keys. And I sat there and thought about it for quite some time. I said, multiple 6 figures. Pension, benefits, 401k. I got a baby on the way.
The American dream.
The American dream, baby.
Or is it?
Or is it? Stress. Phone calls, 1 a.m., 3 a.m. Someone got hurt. You got to meet them. Sheck manager, right? You got to meet them at the hospital. You got to make sure that you find a way not to make sure that this gets hit with OSHA. Right? So that's the stress that I had with that. Or B, you can go and manage a gym, have fun with it, live your dream, because this is something that you've been doing already now for several years, and leave all that stress behind. But don't forget, you're taking a 67% pay cut. You got a baby on the way. You got no more benefits. Tough decision, man.
No doubt. But it's like, again, when you get a job, okay, from an employer and they pay you extremely well and they give you, they literally like give you everything on earth. Well, they wouldn't do that if the job wasn't going to require a lot, right? So basically, you just made the decision, the same one that I made, the same that a lot of people have made, which is if I'm going to have all that stress and risk and all those things, then I'm going to make sure that I get the reward, because like the one thing I know about a boss is he's never going to pay you enough to live next door. You know what I mean?
That's so true, man.
And it's crazy because like, my story is when, before I started our insurance agency, in 2013, we had nothing. I mean, literally, dude, I was at rock bottom, but parents were having to help support us. You know what I mean? It was bad. It was really bad. But I did turn down a job for like $150,000 a year at the time, which was life-changing money to us. But I asked the guy to interview me the question. I had a friend that actually referred me that was there, and I was like, so if I sell more than him, do I make more than him? He said, nope. And I was like, so it's not merit-based. Okay. I was like, well, I just knew that wasn't for me. I would have felt like a caged animal.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's the way I felt.
Well, congratulations on making a great decision, and you wouldn't be doing what you're doing today without it.
No, exactly. So yeah, that happened in 2015. So after that, I immediately went back to school, went back for my nutrition degree, got educated in nutrition, started up a nutrition business, built that to be very successful as well. COVID hits and wipes out all of my clients. We're back to ground zero, right? Because gym shut down. Everyone that I'm meeting with in person, I was doing zero online work at that time.
Okay.
So we're just like, all right, we got to pivot.
Yeah.
Course correction time. We go all in for the next 90 days. I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm probably going to hide in the closet here for the next 90 days as I just put the head down and grind. But that's exactly what we did. We built up a very successful business online in the next 90 days. And the reason I was able to do that is because of where I'm at today. By implementing technology and automation and finding AI. So most people are familiar with ChatGPT 3.5 being released in November of 2022, but 3 was actually released in 2020.
Okay.
So I had a head up, a couple year head start by coming in and starting to learn how to leverage. So an example would be like, one, taking on 30 high-level clients, fitness and nutrition coaching. That was a big deal. Took up a ton of time. But because of the tools that I had built, I was able to coach 175 of those clients at a time, which was an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
If we go back to my mission to when I started coaching in just the collegiate level and then started building up my own gym, I was like, man, what if we could build this thing and actually make an impact on one of the world's worst epidemics that we've ever faced in human history that nobody's talking about and nobody's willing to do anything about. And that's the health and obesity epidemic that we face.
Come on.
Where 75% of Americans are either overweight or obese. And so fast forward a decade, we had impacted 5,000 lives. Like on paper, that sounds cool. Me saying that kind of sounds cool. But 5,000 out of 375 million people here in America, and 75% of them are unhealthy and leading to an early death.
Yeah.
Like that's not cool. Like I was left as a kid without grandparents. And so impacted on that. I don't want other kids to have to go through what I went through. And so we built this business to where now we can handle 175 clients at a time. And I said, what if I went and gave this not to 5,000 clients, but 5,000 other coaches? We packaged this thing up. And those 5,000 coaches now go have 5,000 lives. Now we're making an impact.
So the foundation of this, the fundamentals is that you can help more people, right? And faster, way faster.
You can duplicate yourself. You can 10X yourself. You can 100X yourself.
I want to thank all of our loyal fans that spread across all 50 states and 14 different countries. It's absolutely amazing. Folks, help us keep spreading the word, right? Share your favorite episodes with friends and make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the Hitstreak on all digital platforms. Thanks again, and we look forward to more.
The first time, way back in 2020 when I met Brad Lee for the first time, we were talking about Lightspeed, his state-of-the-art, incredible VT system,
amazing.
Right? And he asked me straight up, he was like, in the insurance business, what are like recruiting? What are your, like he's, how many policies, all those things, but he's like recruiting. How many new agents are you looking to recruit and launch a month? And at the time it was 20 a month. Okay. Which is, think about that. 20 times 12, that's 240 agents a year that not only we're recruiting, but we're investing in training and so on and so forth. So you got to have a lot of bandwidth, okay? We didn't have a lot of bandwidth. We had a hierarchy of people and walls that kind of kept us caged up. Brad looked at me when I said 20, which I was really proud to say that number, and he goes, why not 200?
Oof.
And I was like, well, we don't have the bandwidth to do that. He's like, that's because you're not leveraging the right technology. You know what I'm saying? So, because back then there wasn't VT that was interactive like his. You know what I'm saying? The world was a different place 4 years ago, at least from the general masses perception, right? And the tools we were using every day. So, dude, like this is what you're talking about is the true scale factor.
True scale factor. I'll give you a prime example back then that I dealt with. We went in deep with our clients, like looking at blood work, looking at analysis, and really opening up the hood to find out like what's truly happening with, is it just bad habits, right? Is it calories, or is there something really happening underneath the hood? So it would take me an hour, 15, hour and a half to build out someone's individual meal plan at that time, right? And so with leveraging AI back then, this was like a giant light bulb moment for me, is through the proper, this is key even today, is through the proper prompt engineering, which is how do we speak to AI to be able to get the best results back? Garbage in, garbage out.
So AI is using us, but how can we use AI?
Yes. How do we leverage AI? And so through the right type of prompt engineering that I did in the back end, I could basically take someone's health intake form, which it's a very extensive form. Like you imagine going to the doctor's office, but then having like 10 pages of that. That's what my clients are filling out. We put that thing into this closed source so that none of their information is leaking out, because we can run it locally on the computer, right?
That's a big word. Closed is very important, right? I do know that.
Yes.
It's not an open source. The open source AI is what's scary, not the closed source AI, right?
So we're running it locally so it doesn't leak out. And then all of a sudden, in about 30 seconds, I have the entire plan done.
So I want to put this, one of the things that I love, one of the biggest compliments I get about this show is that how we take something that maybe people are familiar with but not that familiar with, and we give them an opportunity to understand it from an easier perspective to understand it, right? So, for instance, let's talk about everybody that's listening to this right now has probably had these words come out of their mouth, right? So, oh yeah, my phone heard me say that, so I'm gonna get some ads, in just a few minutes. I'm gonna get some ads about what we just talked about because my phone was listening. I've heard my dad say it. I've heard my in-laws say it. Regardless of age, people that don't even care about technology say, yeah, my phone's listening to me, right? They're listening to everything. It's listening right now. So I want them to understand, because you just talked about how you could take something that took to those meal plans and nutrition plans that took so many hours that it could do it in 90 seconds, you said, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's explain to them, when my phone hears me talking about whatever it may be, a cereal, a restaurant or some product, and then all of a sudden, next time I open up my phone, I'm going to see all these ads with those type of products right in front of me, front and center, right? So let's explain to them how many things had to happen for it to happen that fast.
I don't know exactly for that, but I can give you a different example of something we've built.
Come on.
Right? And this is happening today for many different companies. So an example of someone going in and they want, is that cool if I give you like a window washing quote?
Sure.
So cool. So you imagine this, like I'll paint a picture for you. You got dirty windows, you're trying to sell a house. Right? Curb Appeal, it sells everything. So you go on, you're trying to find a window washing crew, you go to their website, you go instant quote now. I'm going to do some shopping around. Cool. As soon as you fill out that instant quote, you do your name, you do your email or phone number, and you do your address. As soon as that is submitted, they're getting a text message saying, hey, I just saw you submit the form for an instant quote on your house for window washing. Give me 5-10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and send you some more detailed content information back. So at least you're setting the frame, right? So now what's happening is we have AI trained to be able to take that, go into something like MLS, something like, think Zillow. We're scraping for their square footage. Okay. Because that's how he does his pricing packages. He's still got a good, better, best model, but we'll take that square footage, we put it into the parameters. We now know the cost of the project. We put that into a script that we have created through AI, right? That then gets sent over to our AI video creation center. And what happened before all of this is that the CEO of the business is sitting down behind his desk and he's filming. We're creating an AI avatar of him. So now bring it up to speed. That script is now sent into this video creation that was already done 2 months ago that he doesn't have to do anything with today. And it's him now reading this script, a custom quote saying, hey, Nick, Hudson here. Founder of Nashville Pressure Washing. I saw that you reached out and asked for an instant quote about your washing your windows in your house. First, let me tell you a little bit about our business, why we're so different from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z, fill in the blanks, right? So your instant quote is only going to cost you $900. But you can tell from the not just the customer service, but the customer experience that we're going to be able to provide you. That's going to be well worth it. You're going to sell that house in the next 3 days, not next 3 weeks.
That's fantastic.
And that all happens automatically within the first 10 minutes.
All right. So why is there fear around AI technology? What's the true risk in your opinion? Obviously, this is just opinion, right?
Yeah. Well, this part's not opinion. This is what has been forecasted by some of the higher level experts. We're going to see, and I think that this is where the fear stems from, is we're going to see about 85 million jobs displaced. 85 million in the next few years. If we go back in time and we look at Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3, 4, where we're at today, every single time there was thousands, millions of jobs displaced.
Yeah.
But what happened after every single time?
It created new jobs,
It
right?
created new jobs. So
New
with
opportunity.
those 85 million jobs displaced, is we're looking at a creation of 97 million. And those are facts.
That's awesome. So again, just like everything else that the average person does, is we look for the things to be the scarcity mindset versus the abundance mindset, right? So again, just give yourself a shot, folks. Give yourself some balance, okay? As a matter of fact, I'm a big Karate Kid fan. Like, that was all he talked about, was balance in the Karate Kid, right? And in the new series Cobra Kai, even, right? They reference balance all the time. So give yourself some balance. So all the things that you're scared about with AI, well, think about it. If you're going to think about all the ways it can ruin the world, have you even thought about how it can make the world a better place?
You're going to get sick. Someone else is going to get sick. Your grandparents are going to get sick. And for those of us that are resistant against AI, we're going to become real thankful of it really soon when that sickness is cured in a matter of days, not years, not decades, because of the power of AI.
Yeah.
It took humans last year in 2023, we discovered 190,000 new proteins and how to fold them. AI, 200 million in the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
Healthcare is going to, we're looking by the year 2026 to decrease, if we adopt everything, this is the projections, to decrease just here in America, $150 billion annually by 2026, decrease our healthcare costs if we continue to leverage AI.
Yeah.
But here's the hesitation, is governmental agencies, regulations coming in and halting it. However, this is where America is excelling right now, is we haven't put in a lot of tight-knit bumper lanes, essentially.
Like regulations.
Right? Regulations. Whereas you look, even countries like China, they're doing good, but they're nowhere near us. When you look at the amount of startups and companies and the capacity that they have versus us right now.
Gotcha.
Because they are so tight on their restrictions. Whereas the government's still kind of overseeing stuff, and it's kind of funny. There's some weird stuff happening behind the scenes. Like Sam Altman he's getting in ties with the government right now. They're trying to create, he's pushing for a board to regulate all American AI agencies, and he's saying, hey, I'm your number one guy. Like, put me on that board. So there's definitely some things happening behind the scenes there. But I think that's with anything that involves money.
No doubt. No doubt. Talk to me. So I want to get to the interactivity part, but let's talk about all the different, so AI at the end of the day, they're robots, right? Or bots, for, like you hear that word a lot. So there's multiple types of bots when it comes to AI. So let's educate some folks so that way when they're using a bot, they know what it is that they're actually, they've got their hands on, right?
Yeah, great question. So most people are familiar with the chatbot, right? ChatGPT 4.0 Mini, which is the newest release. You got Claude, who's through Anthropic. They're on the 3.5 Sonnet. You have Mistral. You have Llama. You have Gemini. Like, you have the kind of the big four, big five players. But that's what most people are dealing with, their interactions with AI, a chatbot, to where you go in, you ask it a question, it gives you back a response, and it doesn't respond back unless you ask it a new question, right? And so that's what people are used to right now. So there's that level. We have interactive chatbots. So example, like you go into someone's website and you ask it a question, it's able to kind of look through their website and provide you an answer, right? You have setter bots. which now we're getting in the world of sales to where they're going to follow some sort of a script along with like if else type statements that kind of will take you through a qualifying type of a process. And if you qualify, then they're going to go ahead and book you on to someone's schedule or schedule an appointment. But where the game, we do the same thing with customer service bots. We do the same thing with FAQ bots. But where the game changes is with generative conversational bots. And this is where the game changes, because an example is we train this on Nick Hyder. We train it on everything that you got going on upstairs.
That's dangerous. I'm just kidding. You don't want to know what's going on up here.
We'll leave some of the stuff up there, right? But we take it on everything that you want to do. What you want this bot to have access to, right? Essentially. Yeah. We take it, example, say you're selling health insurance as an example, right? And you've sold multiple and closed multiple deals through text messages.
Yep.
Okay, so cool. So now I can scrape all of those text messages and we throw it into this same bot that we already created off your knowledge. And now it knows how to close. Now it knows how to handle objections just like you do.
Yeah.
But check this, is we train it not only on the industry knowledge, but also on the World Wide Web for any other questions and answers. So now not only is it as good as you, but it's better than you.
Well, and even then, I have bad days. I get sick. I got to stop to eat, right? I'm raising a family. There's a lot of things that take me away from, a sales conversation.
Yeah.
And the right bots don't need any of that stuff.
It's speed to lead, man. It's 48% of appointments are booked after hours.
The Hitstreak is powered by our partners at HitLab Creative Studios. Whether it's launching your brand new podcast, rebranding your current podcast, or taking advantage of any of their other content packages specifically for your social media needs, the HitLab is a one-stop shop for you. Visit hitlabstudio.com for more.
There's a scene in I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry from that movie's old, right? With Adam Sandler and Kevin James. But it was funny because Kevin James was calling in to, I think the premise of the movie is his wife had passed away and he had to call in to the government and update tax records and stuff. And he hadn't done it because he was still mourning, right? But it was now causing financial problems with taxation and stuff like that. So he calls in, and I can't remember his name, but like his name was Barry Valentine, and of course it said the AI voice on the prompt on the other, and it never got his name right, and he never could get past that. Right? We've all experienced it. We used to call them, I don't know what we used to call them, but we used to call in. You talk to an animated voice, on automated voice, and now like the one if you call Apple support, that's how you get to a real live person if you want one, or maybe you don't have to sit on hold for 45 minutes, and that bot can help you out. They've gotten really, really good. Is the point.
They've gotten really good. And what I found is giving people the option is what the difference maker is. Hey, do you want to talk to someone right now? It's going to be an AI assistant. You can talk to them through chat or through voice, but they're going to get all of your questions answered. And if any point during that conversation, you want to advance it to a human, you can, but you're going to get your answer right now. Right. Or do you want to wait for the next 24, 48, 72 hours because we're rolling into a weekend to be able to speak to a human? 82% of consumers say they would rather take the non-human approach and get their answer now.
Say that again, 87%?
82%.
82%. Wow, dude, that's incredible.
Incredible, right? And for me personally too, if I can bypass sitting on a phone for 20 minutes, because right, we've all talked to AT&T, maybe 2 hours. If I can bypass that and just get my answer right now through someone who probably knows just as much or more through AI, 10 out of 10 times I'm going that approach.
That's right. At the end of the day, as human beings, we are all basically just digital information at the end of the day. We all have a first and last name, a phone number, an email address, a physical address, a bank account, bank and routing numbers. We have a mortgage rate. We have a credit score. We have all these things as a living human being that when you just appear on a computer screen, there's all these with their records, and it's data. All right, and data surpassed oil as the most valuable commodity on planet Earth years ago. Right.
Yeah.
So what this can do now is, what does the average like if I gave the average person, or somebody that's not average, even like Jensen over here. If I gave Jensen your first and last name, email address, phone number, height and body weight, medical records, credit score, I could go on and on and on. And then I'd say, all right, Jensen, solve his problems with that information and make some money off of it. You'd be like, how do I do that? This is how you close that gap. All right. It's taking the digital footprint of a person, right, and helping them consume more things faster by closing that gap. And that's what machines can do. Right.
And then again, going back to the critical piece is the prompt engineering side of things. Depending on what you want the output to be.
Yeah.
And that's what we specialize in, right? Is like, what do we want the output to be? If we can identify that, we can work our way backwards based on the information that you provide. And so crazy example, right? Which is happening. If you want to pull someone's credit score, you give me the parcel data. We'll figure it out.
That's right. It's incredible, dude. It's incredible. There's so many ways we could go from here. Hudson, once again, folks, we're talking with the CEO and founder of Elite Team AI. EliteTeam.ai is the URL. Check Hudson out on Instagram at Hudson Wikoff. All right, dude. What are some other directions with the time that we got left? What are some other directions that you would like to take this? A lot of times, I'm leading the conversation big time, and I still will today. But again, I've got an expert on a really, really important subject today, and I want to make sure that what's important to you it should be important to me, right? It should be important to me. So what are some other directions that you like? Maybe some myths we'd like to bust, some, reputations we'd like to talk about as far as the machines themselves, or, risk versus reward, all that type of stuff. What are some other directions you'd like to talk about, or talk about any success stories, which I'd love to hear about, and testimonials? Like, I know you've done some great stuff with Andy.
Yeah. We'll talk about some case studies here in just a minute. I think that, I was put on this planet Earth for one reason, and that was to serve, to help others.
Oh man, hold on, that gets one for sure.
And so that goes back to my health and fitness days when I was a full-time coach, right? I was helping and serving others. Today I'm helping and serving others grow their business without them in it. Here's the key, so that they can spend more time with their family.
And I want to take a quick moment as well, because that was the most important thing I think we've said today. But I also want to, big shout out to, I met you through Nick Alfano.
Yes, sir.
And the program. You know what I'm saying? So Alfano, I love you, baby. You continue to do amazing things.
Let's go.
And we love everything that you do, man. Nick Alfano at the program. And that's literally where I've met Hudson multiple times, and we got this connection, right? So all right, so we did that. So again, you're doing things to create more time with families. Right?
Yeah, no. Since we're on the topic of Nick, and then we're going to come back to that, is that Nick changed my life, and I think that a lot of other fathers need to hear this. Is that he told me this quote? He said, your sons will become you, and your daughters will marry you. Mm. And when I heard that quote, it just literally just punched me in the gut, because I went and looked in the mirror and I said, am I okay with my daughter bringing home a current version of me? Mm. Am I okay with my son growing up to be the current version of me? And the answer to that at that time was no. And it's still no, because I'm still pursuing greatness. I'm still pursuing to become the best version of myself. And I know right here today where I'm sitting in the seat, like, I am not the best version of myself. There's always opportunities for growth, and that's going to be until the day that I die. Our kids' floor is founded from our ceiling.
That's right.
And it's only going to start where we finish.
That's right.
And so I want to give a quick shout out to Nick just on that. He helped change my life for not just my life, but my kids generationally. So getting back to helping people. So I knew that if we could go in and if we could save people time and still while growing the business, then my impact here on earth, my mission here on earth is still being served. And so whatever direction you guys choose to take with AI automation is, I highly encourage you guys, especially if you own a business, is to find different ways to leverage your front end sales process.
That's good.
When you can find a way to leverage your front end sales process, because a problem with every single business is leads.
Yep. Revenue. Well, revenue, and you need leads to generate revenue.
A lot of the time it's not leads.
Gotcha.
Right? And so say, for example, you have 1,000 leads per month. Say, for example, you got 100 leads per month. Say, for example, you got 10 leads per month. Whatever the number is, or 15,000 leads per month, like Andy, is we're probably not nurturing. We're probably not following up. We're probably letting them, or multiples of them, slip through the cracks.
How many touches does it take where basically a person knows that you or your service is there? How many times do you touch that person before they become a customer, before they buy something?
You got to touch them. They got to see you 9 to 11 times.
And they do. And the reason is because of trust, right? So they buy from. Eventually, they might try something new, but they buy repeatedly from something that's a trusted source, right?
The know, like, and trust factor is huge.
And what do you trust? Well, not something you've. Trust is earned through repetition. That's how sometimes people can trust things that are false. They've just heard it enough times.
Yes.
Right. They've heard it enough times.
Through my fitness coaching business, maybe some of your audience has already heard this, but the fortune is in the follow-up. Right. And I would do this. What I saw was about an 80 to 90 day runway with getting clients in. I would never take the approach I did, but I found this way to work better because it built up a pipeline after about 90 days of people just continuously coming in, is just building relationships. And so that's why I'm so heavily focused with building relationships. And that's why I love you too, because you're a relationship type of guy, relationship equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after those 90 days, they would see everything that you're posting, everything that you're doing. They're building the know, like, and trust factor.
Mm-hmm.
And now they reach out to you.
Mm.
They say, hey, I see that you're doing this. What would it take for you to work with me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a powerful question,
That's
because
right.
now you know that you can help.
That's
now
right.
you get them on the script, and now it's game time, right? So the speed to lead is crucial.
Yeah.
Speed to lead is crucial. The majority of people purchase in the first 10 minutes. Or have made a purchasing decision in the first 10 minutes. Doesn't mean that they're going to purchase right now, but they made that decision. So imagine if you're not hitting your clients because your sales reps aren't hitting your clients because you are so focused on closing that current deal that you're on, but you got 5 more phone calls coming through or 5 more messages coming through and no one's touching them, and they're heading into Friday and it's the weekend and then no one touches them till Monday. Like, speed to lead, like, you lost them all. They already made a purchase.
That's right. Yeah.
Because they're motivated. They want something right now. And so that's absolutely crucial. So AI and automation can absolutely knock that out of the park for you.
Mm. All right, let's talk about. Let's stay there and let's take it even further with some of the ways that your clients are leveraging your services and whatnot, and some success stories, right?
Yeah. So an example with we'll use Andy here. Many success stories there, but we'll go with the abandoned carts. Right. So abandoned carts, that's a typical problem with a lot of people in their businesses. It's a 2-step sales process. They go in, they fill out their information, name, email, phone number. They go to the next page, they see the price, and then they back out, and then they close out of the window, or they get distracted. They forget to close out. Right.
So they add stuff to the cart.
Yep.
But they don't check out. Mm-hmm. They move on to something else. They leave stuff in the cart.
Right.
Okay.
That happens to every single business. Right. And so using AI to be able to follow up with them, whether that's like a video that we talked about earlier, hey, I saw you left something in the cart. Like, you can point to it, make it fun, make it funny, make it engaging, right? Mm-hmm. And say, hey, you left something back here. You want to come get this? I got it dangling for you, right? And then you can have it split off into different products. But even just as something as simple as a generative conversational chatbot that's going in there and saying, hey, I saw that you had done X, Y, and Z. You left this. How about you come on back? Here's a 5% discount. Here's a 10% discount, whatever it is that you want to give. But taking from a 1.25 conversion on their abandoned carts up to a 6.25 conversion.
Wow. Come on.
Let's go.
That's incredible, dude. Let's just explain to them what that means as far as volume and revenue. Okay. Let's just say on a good round number, that's easy to understand what that means when you go from one number to that next number that you just said.
So not to get too detailed with information, right?
Yeah.
But think of it this way. When you have over 1,000 leads coming into your pipeline every single day, and your average transaction value for this particular product, we were taking it down to $2.99. You have thousands of leads coming in every single day. I'm sure that majority of you guys can do the math on that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Let's talk about it from a recruiting and training perspective a little bit.
Yeah, so this was a fun angle. I took last year with a company. They were door to door, and so solar industry.
Bless their hearts.
I know, right, man? I don't know if I could do that, but once I heard numbers, I was like, yeah, maybe I could do that just for a short season, like a little sprints, right? Door to door in sales. Some of these dudes are doing 1.2 million a year, just knocking doors, and that blew my mind. I was like, wow, just being outside and knocking doors, that sounds cool, but not really at the same time.
That's right. It does rain.
So there's some reps in this industry that'll do 0. There's some that'll do 1.2 million. And so on average, we're looking about $110,000 on average per rep. So it's very valuable for them just to have humans, assets out there knocking doors.
No doubt.
Right? So how do we get more of those? Well, we need the pipeline to come in. We need the man hours to be able to sit down and interview these people. hundreds of hours.
Mm-hmm.
We hired 60 people in roughly a week.
Wow.
The Hitstreak is powered by Team Hyder. Team Hyder has been serving you for 11 years and has racked up over 20 national and local awards for excellence in all areas. When it comes to finding the right health plan, we need to consider your family's needs and your family's budget. That's what we do to serve you. To look further and to book an appointment, visit teamhyder.com.
That's incredible, dude. And that all of a sudden kicks off the training too. And
so everything, man. AI chatbot, we pushed them through interview phase 1. We went into interview phase 2, which was a group interview. That was live with a person, just to make sure that they were real humans on the other side too.
That's right.
We pushed them through into an automated onboarding process, which has automated interactive videos that are sent out to them for their training, their onboarding side of things, their payment links. All of that stuff is set up. So that entire process for them literally saved them hundreds of hours. I mean, speaking of time, right, is another success story. And this could be for anyone. A realtor company that we're working with down south, they for their leads coming in, they have leads coming in through a lot of different sources. But when leads come in, they're having to take it from the source that's coming into, they're putting it into their real estate command central, they're putting it into an email sequence, they're putting it into, hey, who's the first person that can get access to this? Who's the first realtor that can reach out right now? Right? And all of this, what they were doing, it was taking several minutes. But when you build an autonomous agent meaning it's going to go out there and do the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Email comes in with this headline. Starts to pop off. We open up the email. It automatically goes in. It takes the information, scrapes the information from that site, puts it into their CRM system. Also, it connects to their conversational chat, which in this case, they use Zoom. Other companies use Slack. Other companies use Google Meets, right? Put it into their conversation. Who's the first person that can take this? They respond back, triggers off, cool, sends them the details, their contact's phone number, information. They're also at the same time tagged with new leads or tagged as a new lead. So now they go into an email sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And that if they're not taken out of that or they're not responded to or they don't follow up in, say, a week's time frame, now all of a sudden they're put in the nurture sequence. So we got speed to lead, we got follow up, and now we got nurture.
You just described a really, really great sales organization.
Crazy, right?
That's right.
It's AI and automation happening. That's the power of it. Like automation's super powerful.
Yeah.
AI is super powerful. But dude, when you leverage the two,
yeah,
and you combine them.
Yeah. Oh. You know, they're gonna say, and we talk about this in the world of sports. There's analytics galore on athletes these days, right? And those analytics are a great tool because they show track records, they show history, they show a lot of patterns, they show a lot of things. But what they don't show is they can't measure the human heart, right? They can't measure somebody's will, you know, they can't measure those things. So let's talk about a little bit. Let's speak to the skeptics out there, right? You know, this will never replace a human. Of course not, right? To a certain degree, right? Because there's the human element that makes a human a human. But let's talk to those skeptics a little bit about how it can make all the humans that they're referencing better.
Yeah. So literally just saving time so we can get back more time with our family. Like I think that's hands down number one. Like if you can build a version of you, and if you wanted to reply to an email, but that email is going to take you 10 minutes, 15 minutes because you're very detailed with it, but you've already trained on how you respond it because now that email is taking time away from your family. We can copy that email. We can paste it into the Nick bot and Nick bot knows how to respond to this. Yeah. And this happens in 30 seconds. Now you just got 14 extra minutes with your family.
Think about it from a company perspective, okay? So you got to hire, you got your cell phone store or whatever it may be, and you got people that greet people when they come in, right? And well, those people had to be interviewed, hired, and then trained, okay? And whoever did, so basically like you've got these really qualified people that are in charge of managing all those different positions and aspects of a business like that. The greeter is a source of revenue, but really if that person was replaced with something that you didn't, all of a sudden the person that was really qualified to to be focused on other things within the business that actually are direct sources of revenue versus greeting somebody when they walk in the door. Think about all the time that you've just created for your higher level executives and highest performers. In what it is. And how many times have your best salespeople been updating, you going through and, I got to go back and disposition all my stuff. In my CRM, I got to go back, I guess, send thank you letters. I got to do all these things when now they can spend more time solving problems for people rather than sending those thank you cards and what. Not that you don't want to send those thank you cards, but again, something else that they've created that's a very similar, realistic version of them can be doing those things, right?
You triggered something in me there. With JP Morgan in 2023, they had 360,000 hours saved from having to push work off to lawyers. Now, with law firms and corporate level, they charge about $800 an hour. The math of that equals about $288 million. $288 million saved by leveraging AI. Saved time. So now again, we go back to the realtor that I'm working with in this particular case, right? They have an entire team. And so this person on their team has now saved 3 to 5 minutes per lead. Now multiply that by 100 leads per month. Now multiply that over the course of the year. They just got 60 hours added back to their year. So now where can we leverage that time frame for that individual amongst the company? And that's just one autonomous agent that we use to be able to save that much time. There's others that we're doing that save hour and a half per day.
Wow.
And so the big question is like, what's your time worth?
That's it. That's where I was wanting to get to. That right there. That's such a powerful statement. Definitely gets a hit for sure. Dude, because like literally I talked about it yesterday where, I spent 5 years driving an hour and a half one way to an office and that drive was like, I could not wait until I had built up a portfolio to open the place that we're sitting today. So I did not have to do that so I could get that time back, right? So all of us would agree if they didn't have to sit in rush hour traffic, they wouldn't. Why? Very simply because one, they don't like it, and two, it takes too much of their time. Yes. It's wasted time. So let's just apply that right here, right? That's how you embrace AI if you ain't embracing it yet. That right there.
100%. And it doesn't even have to always have a monetary tie to it, unless you can tie the time aspect to it. So
that's right.
I was speaking to a group of home service businesses. I work with a lot of home service businesses. And I asked and I polled the room, what is your average hourly rate? And these are all business owners. And some were kind of all over the board, but the average was $650. $650. So if we took that time frame, we did this live up on stage here. If you take that time frame, $650, and you multiply, if we save you 1 hour per day, so if we focus on leveraging automation and AI, not for a monetary return, but we focus on time saving right now. If we can save 1 hour per day by looking at the mundane tasks, the things that you're doing, leveraging automation and AI, and we look at over the course of 48 weeks out of the year, because we're going to give you a month off. We know business owners never sleep anyway.
That's right.
Is $156,000 is what that equates to.
It's incredible, dude. It's incredible, folks. Also, you guys all know I'm a man of faith. It's the most important thing in my life, as is Hudson, and that's one of the biggest things
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
as followers is that a lot of the skepticism comes from because this is it could be it could run the wrong direction if evil got a hold of it. Well, what if the other side gets a hold of it? What if the good side gets a hold of it, and how much good can be done?
I'm an optimistic man. There's a lot of cool movies out there, like The Terminator says it's going to come back in 2028. All these stories, things that are out there. I think that there are some safety precautions being put in place now to be able to help regulate this and make sure that things do go
just like
safe,
anything,
just like anything else. But we as humans, I believe that we always adapt.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be the crucial part. As far as I was going to take that somewhere else with the face side of things.
I do that all the time. It'll come to you.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
But I do it a lot. a lot.
I'm surprised it's the first time on this podcast here today.
That's right.
But another conversation we were having as we were kind of talking about this was with another one of your guys' teammates here, good friend Antoine, killer, man, in the media space especially, is some of the things that we can leverage in the faith side of things. And so an example of that is you're having a tough time. You're in a tough season of life. and you just don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. But if you could go into a conversational chatbot, agent, AI, whatever it is that you want to call it, whatever makes sense to you, and you just let it know how you're feeling, and you're a follower of faith, that thing has instant access to every page, every character in the Bible.
That's right.
And it'll put you back a response. And we have this live working right now to give you back a response on how to pray. Better than any pastor, preacher I've ever heard, because we trained it on the best. But it'll also find 3 key verses throughout the entire Bible that'll just punch, pop, pop,
That's awesome.
pop, to be able to put you in a totally different mindset from
It's
where you were.
incredible. Incredible.
That's another way that we can leverage this, man.
All right. So any other final thoughts? I got one final question for you, but any other final thoughts before we go there?
I think that the big thing is faith versus fear in anything in life. Faith versus fear. We can have, they're the exact same thing. They're the unknown of the future. And we can have fear. That's the what if this happens.
Yeah.
What if has a negative connotation. Fear has a negative connotation. What if this happens? Something bad is going to happen. Or we can have faith that this is all going to work out the way that it's supposed to work out, and we're going to be okay. And 9, 10 out of 10 times, I'm going to choose the faith side of things.
I agree.
And I hope that everyone else does as well. Because it's all about how we sit here in this present moment. That's the only thing that we're guaranteed. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We can't live in the past. All we're given is this moment right here. And for me to be calm, cool, collected, showing up for my family the best way I can, for this podcast, for clients, for friends, for colleagues, for relationships, I got to be present in the moment.
That's
I can't
right.
be thinking about tomorrow. What if?
That's powerful, man. I agree. All right. So let's give the folks on, just like anything else, it's not necessarily what you buy, it's who you buy it from. Okay. So a lot of companies are going to be making divisions in this. You're going to see a lot of products coming out. But you're going to hear more and more people speaking to this. Okay. So obviously, the best team on earth in this industry is the elite team, right?
Sir. Yes,
ran
sir.
by Hudson Wikoff. But what advice would you have as far as, like, first of all, reach out to you, okay? So if they want to do that, eliteteam.ai is the URL. Send them a message on Instagram at Hudson Wikoff. But first of all, how can they contact you if they got questions or inquiries, right? So let's let them make sure that they can do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, great question. You guys can reach out to me directly, just like Nick said. Hudson Wikoff, Wikoff on Instagram. You guys can go to eliteteam.ai. There's a contact us form. If you want to go ahead and just schedule a call with us, maybe you'll be able to speak with me. Another one of the members of my team will hop on a free call. We'll look at your business. We'll audit your business. At the very least, it's going to be extremely valuable for you because we're going to help you identify different areas that you can implement in automation or AI. So very valuable there for you right there as well.
The Hitstreak is powered by Rack Financial. When it comes to your credit card merchant processing, Rack Financial is efficient, reliable, and trusted. At the end of the day, when it comes to processing your credit card payments, they make it simple, the way it's supposed to be. Check out Rack Financial.
Communication is not one problem in history of mankind do we look back and say they communicated too good and it caused that problem, right? So the best communicators, in my opinion, in business are the best at automation and delegation, okay? Automation is the first one I said, right? So, and I know that's something that, like, the last year and a half while we've been focused on other things, we kind of got distracted from our automations and they got weak, and we're getting those back in line right now. No doubt they're extremely important. But what advice would you have how to hire the right AI team, the right AI agency? What are some credible things to look for when they're doing that?
I think that's just is look at the credibility, look at the who's advocating for them, who have they worked with, what type of products are they putting out there, see samples of the products that they're putting out there. We were talking about this. The last thing you want to do is hire someone who you're paying their dollars for them to practice.
That's right. That's right.
All right, that's the last thing that we want. So look for case studies. We have hundreds of case studies. Look for, I would say, like, I'm not going to talk about other companies, right? That's not, I'm here to talk about us. And the biggest thing about us is the level of care that we have. Again, this all stems back to why I feel like I was put here on earth in 2009. That was to help serve others, to help them become the best version of themselves, to be able to get more time back to their family. And that's still the exact way that we operate today. And I'll take time out of my busy day to hop on a phone call with you. If you got something going on, we want to make sure that everything's, again, we're not about customer service. We're about customer experience.
I couldn't think of a better way to bring this sucker to a close, dude. That was freaking awesome, man. That was incredible. So, folks, just so you know, what AI team is everything associated with Nick Hyder working with. You're looking at him right here.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? And he's not, by the way, he's not the first person that's came in here and said they could offer this stuff. Okay. Again, it's not what you buy, it's who you buy it from. Right. And you got to understand, again, trust is earned, man. So make sure you're leveraging that and making everybody that you are a consumer of, make sure that they are earning that trust. Right. And so on and so forth. So Hudson, dude, congratulations on all your success, bro. But I think it's safe to say the best is yet to come.
My man, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited for the future. The future is bright, optimistic.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, and even if it wasn't, we're going to see it that way, and that's the way we will manifest it, right?
1,000,000%, man. Our steps are already mapped out for tomorrow, so.
I love it. Well, folks, once again, the CEO and founder of Elite Team AI, Hudson Wikoff. EliteTeam.ai is the URL. Check him out on Instagram at Hudson Wikoff. Hudson, thanks for being here, baby. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Folks, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hit Streak. I am your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.